gamers, welcome back to Game Perfection, a passion project by Karmasur Studios. I'm your host, Karma. Before watching the video, make sure you have something to sit on and something to help you out. Why? Because you're gonna cry, my dude. Alright? Okay, I'm exaggerating. But still, today's episode is all about horror and fear. You know it, the 10 best horror games for PC, PlayStation, and console, Episode 3. Now, get your fingers crossed and enter the world of horrors. Visage. Released on the 30th of October 2020 on PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. What is fear? It's a mental state where you start experiencing the presence of others in the form of spirits. But it's also true that spirits exist. Now, what is true and what's not? Who knows? However, Sad Square Studios tried to teach you this with this psychological horror game. Taking place in a strangely structured house with a somber history, the game lets you control Dwayne Anderson, who explores the house to find backstories of the inhabitants living in the house and is trapped. Now, he must find a way out of this, but it isn't easy because he's psychologically afraid that if he goes into the dark, he will lose his sanity and the spirits will get him. This is why you must keep him in light while he explores the large accessible portion of the house. But this can't go on for too long. You must find an escape, or else. Outlast 2. Released on the 25th of April 2017 on PC, PlayStation 4, Xbox, and Switch.
Even when you think you understand what's happening here, you're only gonna be halfway down the rabbit hole. Come on, buddy. You can guess this one. It's faith. Money.
Journalism is very risky. In this, you never know what's coming next. Just like your character, Blake Langerman, in this game, you never know that he would get separated from his wife in a helicopter crash in the Arizona desert while investigating the murder of a pregnant woman only known as Jane Doe. He also never knew that while searching for his wife, Lynn, he would have to pass through a village of a deranged sect that believed that their end was coming. But here you are, Destiny. Now you must find your missing wife along with surviving in the village from the hostile members of the Temple Gate. I know you would love to fight them, but that's the twist. You can't fight. Instead, you can just run, crouch, jump, slide, and climb to keep yourself alive. But wait, you can't hide for long. Your wife is missing out there too. Dead by Daylight, released on the 14th of June 2016 on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch. You get to know that you'll be dead by tomorrow. And if you want to survive, you must kill someone in your place. What will you do? Well, you won't have enough time to decide this once you start this asymmetric multiplayer survival horror game where survival means killing. Behavior Interactive must have studied human behavior before developing this game because they know exactly what humans can do when it comes to their survival. Coming back to the topic, it's a 5-man game where one takes on the role of a savage killer while the rest are the survivors. You can be either of them. The killer obviously must catch all the survivors and sacrifice them to the greater force known as Entity by impaling them on hooks. While the survivors must survive and fix 5 generators in the game to open the escape door and see the next day. It's scary but interesting. Amnesia Rebirth, released on the 20th of October 2020 on PC and PS4.
Please respond. We have found help. I am here with Yasmin. Answer, please. Eva. Can anyone hear me? Cassandra, this is Anton Metzia. Please.
If the first part of the Amnesia series was too much for you, then this sequel is going to be even more than that. Yeah, it's scary. In this puzzle survival horror game, the gameplay again takes place in FPP, similar to The Dark Descent. However, the story here is new. Here, you take on the role of Tsai Trianon, and wander through the desert caves and ancient tombs to find your missing friends by solving interesting puzzles and reading leftover notes of your companions. This is challenged by dim light, darkness, and the fear of Trianon, which you must overcome to complete your mission. Like the first game, Trianon fears darkness, and thus you must avoid staying in the dark for long by using light sources such as your fuel lamp, candles, and torches. If not, her fear will take over, and you'll start hearing whispers and hallucinated ghost images that'll make everything difficult. Honestly, I love darkness. It's like peace to me. Little Nightmares, released on the 28th of April 2017 on PC, PlayStation 4, Xbox, and Switch. We all know how good platform games Bandai Namco Entertainment makes, and the game Little Nightmares is just one of those fine works in the horror genre. This puzzle platform horror adventure game is set in the mysterious world where, while controlling Six, a hungry little girl, you must escape the Maw, which is an iron vessel full of monstrous and twisted inhabitants. The game follows a 2.5D typical platforming elements and allows you to traverse through the world by solving interesting puzzles. However, sometimes you feel helpless when blocked by enemies due to a lack of combat abilities. In such scenarios, using stealth is the only way to escape. Though sometimes you do get the tools to fight back, but most of the time, you must be silent enough to escape without being noticed. If not, the enemies are hungry too. Someone, please save the girl, by playing the game, of course. Pacify, released on the 22nd of February 2019 on PC.
We've been studying her and running some experiments. She is really powerful.
Look, I don't want to be biased, but here's the fact. Pacify is my favorite horror game that I've ever played on PC. I cannot appraise Hitchcock Games more than enough for publishing this super interesting, thrilling, and scary horror game for us. Now, talking about the game, it's an FPP survival game with some fine horror elements, which seem to overshadow the former. In the game, you play the role of a worker of the PAH Incorporated, a paranormal activity helpers organization, and as field work, you've been assigned to check on an old haunted house. While doing so, you'll be running around narrow corners and stairs of that house, saving yourself from a little girl that switches between good and evil due to certain triggers. Your goal is to pacify the evil and escape from that house as soon as possible, or else no one gets out.
There was a house that a couple died in, the Withers residence. A former pizza delivery man says there's definitely something going on.
Condemned, Criminal Origins, released on the 22nd of November 2005 on PC and Xbox. Horror not always comes from ghosts. Sometimes, it's crimes that bring the horror out of you. And this first-person survival game from Sega does something like that. Inspired by films like The Silence of the Lambs and Saw, the game emphasizes melee combat and puzzle solving along with fine suspense and horror elements to give you a perfect, scary experience. In the game, you take the role of a criminal investigation officer, Ethan Thomas, who must find the one who framed him for murder. And for that, you investigate through a number of condemned buildings full of violently psychotic enemies ready to take you down. You must survive as well as take them down with melee weapons, fist skills, and weapons. The game hasn't focused heavily on weapon fights because that's common. Instead, melee fights and suspense survival is the real thing here. And it's scary too. Pathologic Classic HD, released on the 19th of October 2015 on PC. You may have guessed the theme of the game already by looking at the title, but still, let me tell you about this. Because that's what we do, right? So, this is a role-playing and survival game developed by Good Shepherd Entertainment. Here, you'll be playing as one of the 3 healers who are only known by their honorifics. These include 2 men, Danelle and Artemy, and 1 girl, Clara. In the game, your goal will be to survive for the in-game period of 12 days by completing daily missions and side quests displayed in your quest book. However, the secret goal is to find the source of a sand plague that has made a whole city pathological. But we all know, doing that won't be easy. So keep fighting every day and throw whatever you have to know the secret. After all, it's about a whole big city going pathological. Now tell me, is this what you had guessed? Darkwood, released on the 17th of August 2017 on PC, PlayStation 4, Xbox, and Switch. If you want to survive in this world, you must know how to defend yourself. Defense has always been a crucial element when it comes to survival, and Visage Studios has portrayed it so amazingly, interestingly, and somewhat scaringly in this semi-open world survival horror game. In the game, you along with your friends have been trapped inside a scary forest somewhere in the Polish People's Republic or in the Soviet bloc, and you must survive. And to do that, you can explore the woods, search for food and supplies, craft tools, build shelters, and prepare your defense strategy. Because during the night, you cannot leave the shelter and must defend yourself against scary and deadly intruders until the morning. You can hone your defense skills and upgrade your tools during the day as well, so you may become able to trade with others. But that's the only way to survive. The Cat Lady, released on the 7th of December 2012 on PC. At first, I thought this game would be about a cat who's been possessed by a woman's spirit, just like you're thinking right now. But it was after reading about the game that I knew that this game is about an introverted kind of lady, Susan, whose only friends are stray cats. Incorporating puzzle solving and dialogue exchanges, the game lets you relive the life of Susan, which is actually quite interesting and horrifying at the same time. For example, Susan once tried to commit suicide, but ended up killing an evil doctor. Another interesting aspect of the game is that you complete it whole only with the help of 4 arrow keys and the escape key. The sideway arrow keys move left and right, and the upward and downward keys for interacting with NPCs, and the escape key for saving and loading missions. Susan's life is not like the ordinary one. Does it mean she's a devil? Find out! So this was it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed watching the video and didn't have any heart attacks from our clips. Which of these games are you going to play next? Comment down below. And if you want more like this, like the video and subscribe to Game Perfection. We'll be back soon with another banger video for you. Till then, this was Karma, signing off.